Hey everybody, welcome into the El Ranch. Had a little technical difficulty getting started up tonight, but good to go now. And so tonight's plan is, what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting everything set up here so we can get our silage in and bought the fields across the road. Let's go ahead and go to the map, PDA. So right now we own everything you see here in blue. It's going to be 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, 23, 25, 24, 22, 19, 20, 21, 15, and 14. And the plan right now is 18, 23, 25 will be grass. 14 and 20 will be grass. 15, 21 will actually go into corn. 16, 13, and 12 are going to be random, probably rye and oats. Probably 2 oats and a rye over there is the plan as of right now. So right now we're down here in 21, and we've actually got our first mulch on 22. Or excuse me, on 21, and we've got our first round of manure on here for fertilizer, and we're gonna break it out now and plow it, get everything going on that. So I'm gonna jump back over to the barn, kind of give everybody an idea of where we're at on this. Let's do a little bit of adjustment here. I'm thinking maybe the audio is a little loud. So let's go ahead and jump in here to volume mixer and bump the old Google Chrome down just a little bit. I think that'll help us out a bunch there. So I'm going to jump over here into the vehicles, make a cruise through the farm headquarters here. I'm waiting for the old El Toro to get warmed up here. So we got in our main farm building here. It's going to be our headquarters barn, and quite a nice model too, by the way. If you're looking for something along those lines, this would be a great one for you. We've got our cotton harvester. Went ahead and downloaded or installed. Our cotton harvester should be parked right in there. Yep, right there. And we've got our first couple of loads of grain into the silos here already. Just waiting for our other crops to get ready. So today one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our mulch pass on a couple of our bigger fields. We've got this is one of our bigger fields here. That's our oilseed radish. It's up and ready, and what we'll do is we'll actually run down here and grab the one of the Steigers and run by and get the mulcher and see if we can't get started over there on that. Forecast is saying we're in for a little bit of rain this evening. I'd like to get that mulch started on that before we run into that. We've got a lot of our stuff that we put in oil seed is ready for mulching now. Once we get our mulch pass on, we'll hook up to the seeder and see if we can't get some of our first big field of grass in. That's what this mulch field, or the field that we're fixing to go mulch, is actually going to all be grass. Been using the fermenters over there to turn my grass into silage for my TMR mix. I'm using the cow barn with the robot to make the TMR and serve it up. I've already got the first couple of loads of straw in. Next things I've got to do is get the first little bit of hay. Probably the first time I do this first big grass field here, we'll do it in hay. So we've got plenty of that for our TMR mix. So I'm going to be setting up the field here for this, and I think I do it like everybody else does, but what we'll do here is first we pick our field, and because I have all of those joined, it'll see all of that as one large field. I'm going to run it clockwise, or excuse me, counterclock. No, that's clockwise. And what we'll do here is we'll use the course generator, and the plan here is we're going to use clockwise, smooth borders. We're going to start work on the headlands. We're going to use the longest edge, and we're going to go -2. So that's a little bit of an overlap on the outside edge. If you go, you can actually take it out another, I think, 3 meters. So you can actually make your field larger by that much if you turn on your create fields. And so we're going to go generate our course. This will take a little bit because that is a really large field there. So just how's everybody doing this evening? And we want to welcome everybody into what I'm going to call the spit and whittle session for Sundays. If you got something you want to talk about, just throw it up in the chat and we'll see if we can't work it out. If there's something you need to know, I've been playing a long time. I'm no expert, but I might be able to help you out, and I'm more than happy to do so. We're going to do our autosave here, and then we're going to get started on our plow here. Our mulch, excuse me. I usually drive to the line to start. you can, it'll actually find it on its own. Sometimes it wanders around a little bit getting there, and so it's a little quicker to just do it yourself. So once we get this started, we're going to start. Once we get this started, we're going to start looking for a place for our sheep. The most important thing for this is going to be that we want to find a good flat spot that we don't have to do a bunch of overworking on. And so we want to make sure we're getting all of our fertilizer state that we're looking for here. And yep, we're going to be, let's turn mulched off. And yep, we're going to have our second stage of fertilizer on that and our full mulch. So it will be ready to go. So a little look at the map here so everybody can kind of see what's going on. 14 was grass and is completely mulched now. 20 was grass and is completely mulched. 21 is completely mulched and now it's in the process of being plowed. Had cotton on it originally. 13 was oats. 16 is actually in, let's see, 16's in wheat now, and 12 is still bare. So this kind of gives you a better idea of what's going on here. And we've finished fertilizing on 20. So we're going to go ahead and get that truck off the field. And this is our grass here. And you can see where the spreader missed spots. So not much we can do about that though at this point. We could go back and do all of that, but I don't think it's going to actually increase our yield significantly to offset the amount of work that it's going to take to do that. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this back in the lime wagon parking spot here. Just about got my auto drive all set up the way I like it. I'm going to do a quick test on jump here in a Riptide, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to run over here and grab the Riptide 2, and we're going to go throw this in the fermenter. And we've made some XML adjustments to the fermenter. The fermenter here listed as US fermenter, and I'm trying to think of the maker of it, or who actually did the mod, but it's a little bit on the small side. So went in and edited I only had 84,000 liter storage, so I went in and upped that up to about about 1.5 million. So we weren't having, because the way it was set up is these Riptides will do 72,000 liters, so one and a piece of a Riptide was filling those up completely, and I just need more storage space than that. So I went in and edited XML, and I've got that up now to where I believe I went to 100 million on those. No, that sounds outlandish for the size of the storage, but it just saves you so much time having to transfer stuff from one storage to another storage. I have the big hay straw barn. I'll see if I can't pivot around where we can see that. Yeah, right there behind us. See if I can get up above this. Yeah, that big barn back over there on the other side, that's actually the hay straw storage building. And see if this does what we wanted it to do. Should swing through here and drop that in the fermenting silo there. Top it off a little bit. There we go. Good to go. So let's go ahead and step out here for just a second, and I'm going to turn that autosave interval autosave off temporarily. There we go. Go ahead and do a quick clean on that, and go ahead and put this in the, it's going to be Riptide 1. There we go. Let's see if we can. We have got a piece of equipment here that is not where we want it. See if we can't get back here. May have to actually I'll try to remove this, and it's not going to let us. It should, see how those turn red when we tag them? It should do that, and it's not going to do it. So I'm just going to step out. Let's go ahead and hop in the helicopter here. Let's, while we're here, I'll show y'all something. Tinkering with the Lego blocks in game. I was hoping to be able to make something useful out of these, but they seem to, after you set them, they want to shift. And I believe it has to do with the models touching each other. And so when you start the game and it sets all that stuff in the game, it's causing those to buckle a little bit. So not exactly what we're wanting to do there. So we're going to hop my helicopter here, and what we're going to try to do is go find a good spot for the sheepfold. Yep. like to kind of keep it close here to the house, but also want a nice flat spot to put it on, and I'd hate to lose a lot of field to do it. Just thinking about right here. Which is kind of silly for me to have gotten in the helicopter now because see how flat that actually is when we get down there. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I think just right across the street here is going to be plenty good. That's if I can come in here without hitting the silos. Oops. Getting a little lag right around here. I'm beginning to wonder if I have an implement that's causing me to lag out a little bit. I have found that seems to be the case when we get little lag bubbles, is it usually goes back to some sort of a mod conflict, I guess is the best way to put it. Set this down, and we're going to jump out. There we go. Didn't get it back on the spot exactly, but that'll work for now. Duck here under the rotors so we don't get chopped up. Let's go over and jump over the fence. We can just do this on foot. Let's see, do I own this yet? Yes, I do. This is wheat. Let's go into construction view and zoom way out. So, yeah, I think this would be a good spot. I'm going to go ahead and clear. Let's clear some landscape here. I'm going to just kind of paint it in a little bit. Sorry, I get a little bit quiet when I'm editing, so please bear with me. So let's go ahead and drop our fences in. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with these. If you're really careful, you can use the textures to line up on, so you get all your stuff good and straight. So my suggestion is when you're setting fences up in this, do all your fences first. And what that'll allow you to do is get everything good and straight the way you want it. Then you can come back in and drop your gates in. Probably going to put a gate in over here. Again, we want to make sure that I always say paint your roads in first. In this case here, I think I'm going to use that for my road. And on both sides here. And now then we want to go in and look for our sheep barns. And I tend to stick to these fenceless husbandries here. This one here's 100. This one here's 100. That's what this one is. And this one here is that. So let's go with the bigger one of the two. And what I try to do, and again, it's just on me, but I like to come back out to the fence and line up on the fence, and then give ourselves plenty of room between that and the actual outer fence. And I tend to put these out in doubles. So I'll take one and put this way, and then the other one I'll rotate 180 and do it this way. And we don't need that many, but I like the way it looks. So Now, one of the things that happens in a lot of these maps is when you actually drop your stuff out, it's going to change your texture. I always suggest texturing everything to start with first. Just come back and fix where it messes it up for you. It's just kind of the way the game works. When it kind of, I call it running home to mama, running home to daddy, however you want to put it. So what it is there's textures that are set up with the map to be base textures underneath things, and those are kind of the defaults when you open something up to so what we'll do now is we're going to come out here, we're going to smike that next size down, and let's see which one we're going to use. This is, that's a sandy texture. I think no, let's see. Nope. Nope. Is this one it? Now, I tend to take, and what I'll do is block this in again, like that. I come out and grab my paint, and my texture that I'm using for my ground texture. I want to go large here, and round. And what I will do is I will actually bring this to here, tap in once, then go back to square, and down 2, and it will kind of make your corner for you. That way. Again, probably just a little too particular about stuff, but and we'll do the same thing here, straighten this road back out. Well, unless we mess up, and then we will have to fix it. And by this field actually being in wheat already, we'll have to actually go ahead and do some fix some things on it too. And get a good click there. Now then, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually create a barrier using the fence there as our guide. By doing this, you're actually changing the actual field edge. Be sure and give yourself enough room for your tractors to make your turns and everything, because it is a wheat field and you're going to have to turn. In my case, I run the Colossus combines, and those are a skosh large. So you have to plan accordingly. So, yep. And we're going to complete our road. If you'll notice, I didn't complete the road in that one spot because I wanted to make sure of my alignment. Now then, actually do the same thing that we did on the other side here. Missed it just a little bit. Now then, we want to come back in here and grab our grass. And drop our grass in. Don't worry too much about going over the edge of the field. You're going to lose a little crop this time, but when it plows the next time, it'll actually come right back to that first line and fix that for you. So we got everything fixed here. And that'll leave the only thing we need to do is drop our gates in. Which I'm debating whether we need to drop gates in or just remove some panels out of this one. And I think I'm going with the remove panels. Man, that's handy. Now then, let's go in here and I'll drop our go in here and drop our fences in. Back to decoration and fences. Tell you what, let's do. Let's go with something a little less grandiose and more sheep looking. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries to get it exactly where you want it without colliding with the building. Now then, let's go take a look, make sure we got everything the way we want it. Very good, very good. Okay, so now next thing we want to do is we want to come in and add some actual storage for our grass. And I actually really like the Zodelzocht buildings. Chaff. There we go, grass. The Zodelzocht buildings are really well done for this, I think, and normally what I do, and again, don't know that I do it the right way, but this is kind of how I do it. So what I will actually do is I will create probably 2 of these, and between them I'll actually go into my sheds and look for, I want to find something that kind of goes with what I've got here. Probably this, which matches perfectly. Now, what we want to do is we want to go down. Usually, I prefer, so what we got here, these all look exactly the same, except for these have a load and unload in them for grass, for my sheep. Now, what I tend to do is I'll create a, I'm going to go and get the, yeah, let's do that. Actually, probably better off do it this way. Let's do it this way. So here, and we want to go to miscellaneous, and we will grab a Syntrack. Default configuration's fine. You don't need it fast. I run the Nokian tires on here. Wheel setup needs to stay the same if you're going to go with default. And then let's see what we got. Got a cover there, or cargo transfer. Let's leave the color the same, the design color the same, the rim color the same. And we're going to pick that up right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to back out. And again, we're going to go to the miscellaneous section, this time in implements. And we're going to look for the elephant loader attachment for the Syntrack. Cover's fine. We want, if we go with wheel loader, we'll go with the wheel loader attachment. We'll leave everything else the same. We're going to go ahead and buy that. Let's do this. Let's start the we want to start, oh, wrong one. Let's start the Ford over to the shop to pick up the Syntrack and bring it back. Let's do let's go ahead and lay our path out in here. I tend to go with one-way paths for stuff like this, but you can save yourself some data points by actually using a bi-directional path for your turn, like so. Let's do this differently than I did. First of all, let's drop this trailer. I'm going to delete this path here and change the way I did that. For me, it's easier to start my exit entrance from the inside of where I'm turning from. Just make sure we got that all. Where is that going? Oh, that's the other one. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. I left one there. It's a lot easier to navigate your paths and stuff when you do not have a trailer on. The thing about it is you need to always keep in mind that when you drive this, you're probably going to be driving it with a trailer. So always keep that in mind when you create your paths inside. I.e., you want to create your corners to swing wide, so you want to be as sharp as you can at the corner to make sure that you Now then, what you want to do, what I was trying to talk to you about earlier, was if you will take and create a bi-directional entry exit point, you can use one line to do both your in and out. Again, keep in mind and keep it kind of square. Doesn't hurt if you go a little wide. See, by doing that, now you only create an entry and an exit that are unidirectional, and you save, I'm going to say 8 or 10 data points for every time you are able to do that. Now, you could use just out here, but again, you would wind up having to create more points to exit this location that way. So again, keep in mind that you want to be able to swing wide enough so if you have a trailer, you're not going to hang up on the gates and the fences and things. See, same thing here. We're going to take this one's going to come connect in here. This one's going to connect here. And you've got your in and your out for that entire time there. So these positions here create a particularly interesting turn when you have the offset that you have right here. So doing it this way, it also gives you a little bit more control in situations like this. So you've got so what you've done when you do it that way is you've actually created a three-way exit. So now I can go directly from here into the main farm area without having to make a big loop to get there.
Hey boss, all done with this job. Over.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
I use the CB helper mod. That's what that sound was there. It's actually pretty darn handy. It allows you to get a vocal message when your equipment is finished. So we're going to go and do a quick wash down on this, and we're going to start this back to the 9-meter cedar planter. Let's just go ahead and start it back. I set up return lines. This is going to be return line 1. I'm going to start him back to return line 1 and get him. And why he wants to go that way, I don't know, but he does. So we're going to let him. I'm hoping we've got all of our technical issues ironed out, so next week we can get started on time. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here. I'm going to get the send track down here before we end the evening. Let's go ahead and get our entry exit path fixed here. If I can do it without getting run over by the traffic. And almost made it without the traffic, huh? This is the Papa Smurf trailer, and quite frankly it kind of does a little bit of everything, which is handy as a pocket on a shirt. So we're going to create a equipment unload point here. I save the data points on the corners so I can do things like this, which I thoroughly enjoy doing. So this is we're gonna name this sheep. I always start with where I'm at. Sheep, not shop. Sheep, semi, drop off. Now, that's what we're going to call this. We can use it for anything. Let's say we've got a tractor on the other side of the map. We want to bring it over here. We don't know exactly where all of our equipment is, but we know that this spot here, we're going to keep it empty unless there's something here loading or unloading. And that will give us a place to drop anything we want to drop off. Okay, so there we go. And we're headed to semi-return, or to the shop return point, where we have our send track is at. I'm going to jump over there and grab that right quick and bring it back. There's our send track right there. Ever since the last update to the send track, I've had trouble getting connections. Before, it was no issue whatsoever connecting. And now every time it's kind of a nightmare getting hooked up. And I'm beginning to wonder if let's run the SynTrack over there and see if we can't change the way the connections work. Jump out there to shop and vehicle options. And what we want to do is we want to customize. And we want to go down here to the cargo transfer and change that to cover, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's going to be the way we go on it. Really like this little tractor. I think it's really handy, but ever since the latest update, I've had the darndest time getting things to connect like we want them to. See right here, I'm just at a loss. A. And I'm guessing we're just going to wind up having to sell these and go to a different tractor. So normally what I try to do here is, there's my miscellaneous. Go with a medium tractor. Then we can get a front loader on, because that's what we're actually needing here. Let's see, can we do Massey, McCormick? We'll do a Hauer. Twins. We don't need twins. Rear twins, yes. Let's go ahead and go with Nokians. And the bigger engine. I thought this just came in red. Comes in red and dark red. There we go, dark red. Nah, let's do the dark red. As far as rims, I tend to go with gray versus the white. I try to go with the SynTrack because it saves you another purchase, because now I'll have to actually go buy the front loader stuff, and I'll have to go buy a bucket. So I guess it really doesn't save you anything. Just seemed like it did. Get the bigger of the two Hauers. And we're gonna go front loader tool. And although I know it isn't necessary, I've been using this Flegel bucket mainly because of the volume, because you're looking at a 1000 versus 2300 with the Flegel bucket. So it's also a feed mixer, but you'll never use that with the sheep. So, and that's where this is going, is over to the sheep area. Okay, let's go fix our traffic jam. Come in here and throw out our ramps. As tricky as this is going to seem. And I do stuff like this and I look at it and I'm like, there's no way in the world that you would ever do this in real life. Try to get it right over them back wheels. Let's go ahead and jump out here. I'm gonna fold the trailer, strap the tractor, and get it taken to the sheep semi drop-off point. So let's see how we did today. We've got never did get started plowing that. Yeah, we did. How's he doing? He's got what? Maybe 3 passes left on this. Doing the getting the mulching done on the oil seed on the big field. So what we'll wind up with when we finish this is we'll be at 100% fertilized, we'll be mulched, and so what we'll do is once we actually plant, we'll get the absolute maximum boost on our and if you look here, this will show you exactly what we wound up doing on that little wheat field there. We turned it into, this is going to be our sheep area here. And so we'll jump in the tractor and just ride the rest of the way. Watch our turn here. This is what we were talking about earlier. Whoop. Almost got that too sharp. Unfold. Drop the belts. Jump out and onto the tractor. Pick that bucket up. And away we go. Now, we've got more spots for equipment over here if we need it. But as for right now, all we're going to do is this one McCormick tractor. That way we've got something here to And that's going to do it for tonight, folks. I'm going to call it a night. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and please come back and see me next Sunday. Well, we've got one viewer, Miss Joe, and yeah, it would be great if terraforming were that easy in real life. So, but let's see if we've got this all fixed up the way we want it, and as soon as I can get him parked, we're going to call it a night, and I'm going to go sheepfold tractor park, and let's go. Well, thank you for stopping by, and y'all come back now, you hear? Next Sunday, 7 p.m., Spit and Whittle again. I wish I had more folks to visit with. Turn this into a real Spit and Whittle session, and y'all have a great week. And remember, guys, let's keep farming fun.